What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about Battle World. We're going to talk about Knull, we're going to talk about SENTRY, the next boss coming to Battle World, and we're going to talk about big bosses in Marvel Strike Force. This is something that Scopely tried to introduce with Battle World, and there were some good things about it, but there are also some negative things about it, which we are going to take a look and talk about in this video. Also, we are going to compare what we have in other games like Raid and see exactly what Scopely or Boundless should learn from other games and try to apply to their own. Because I'm going to be very honest, from the recent interview that we had, Boundless sounded very casual about Battle World, and with such an iconic character like SENTRY coming to the game, and even because he's part of a recent movie on the MCU, I think they should be paying way more attention to Battle World than they seem to be. Hopefully, we are mistaken about this, but we'll see. Okay, let's talk about Battle World and Knull specifically, and what was bad about Knull and what should be improved for SENTRY. So, in the case of Knull, there was always a damage cap, and that damage cap was terrible because it really limited the strategies that you could apply. We had that bleed strategy that would allow us to do a lot more damage, but after they capped the bleed damage, Knull became pretty much an auto fest that nowadays, every time Battle World shows up, you just put whatever team against Knull, you press auto, and pretty much everyone is getting the same result apart from Astral, right? You get around those 80 million points, and that's pretty much it. And on the other hand, we also have the fact that the strategies to use against Knull were pretty easy, almost inconsequential. You had no sense of emergency of you to do anything apart from removing the barrier. Every time you had to remove the barrier, of course, you do that right away because the barrier is limiting the damage you can do to Knull. But apart from that, from the other mechanics, not really. So, for example, when we had the symbiotes summons on the field, yeah, sure, the symbiotes, those summons would make Knull stronger if you not kill them fast enough, but you had so much time to do it, it was almost irrelevant, right? And because they had literally no health, you didn't have to prioritize them over Knull, which, in my opinion, I think it's a mistake because, once again, there is no sense of emergency for you to take action when you see those summons on the field. Other thing that it was a little bit of a nothing burger, I guess it gave some value to certain characters, was how easy it was to blind Knull's base. A special, maybe it was a special. There were some mechanics of Knull that you could blind him. And yeah, sure, it gives some value to characters that you usually would not use. But overall, it was just not good enough, right? You had these three little mechanics that you could do, or apply blind, kill the minions and do the barrier. And like I said, two of them were absolutely inconsequential. Like this one of blinding Knull, it was nice. It would save you like a little bit of damage, but it was not crucial. While if it was like more dangerous, you had more of a sense of emergency and you had more interest in using characters that could apply blind, right? Now, we're going to take a look at what RSL Legends does in a game mode that is somewhat similar to Battle World, which is the Hydra. The Hydra, you can also attack 3 times. You can also do it once every now and then, which is once a week. It's not once a month, it's once a week. But you need specific teams in order for you to beat the Hydra, because if that's not the case, you literally have no chance. You can see right here these players, level 60, 66, you have this guy level 52, and they are not able to do any damage. The boss has 100 million damage, and they cannot chip away the boss at all. And this is because we are not using the proper strategy. There are certain strategies that we have to use. There are certain mechanics that there is an emergency for us to do and take action, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do any damage. So I'm going to show you an example of what we have to do in Hydra for you to be successful, and then we can apply these at the same level to Battle World in Marvel Strike Force. So let's take a look. Before we start, I just want to give a huge shout out to Raid for helping me with this video. We have a new QR code with extra rewards, and right now is going to be one of the best times for you to join Raid. With this QR code, you're going to be able to obtain Uugo, which is an epic character that is amazing. Everyone says that she's S tier for Hydra, which is the content we are taking a look at today, because she not only revives your entire team, also she applies buff block on the enemies like Disrupt that stops your enemies from getting buffs. And this against Hydra is extremely important because some of the heads of Hydra can buff the other ones, and you definitely don't want that weapon. As you guys can see, you also get a pack to gear up your character with extra silver, training materials, and potions to ascend your Uugo and make her stronger. Now, on top of that, with the QR code on the screen, you are going to get Fayne at level 15, and she's amazing for the clan boss, the Demon Lord, because she's going to apply defense down and weakness against the boss. Weakness, it increases the damage by 25% against the target. On top of that, she also applies offense down to the boss, which is going to increase your survivability and allow you to do more damage. And she also does pretty solid damage as well, as she applies poisons and other damage effects against the clan boss. So she's very, very strong against single target damage, and I've been using her for a very long time because she's just so good. You can still get the typical legendaries with the QR code on the screen. You can still get Song Wukong, but this guy is going away in 1 month, so after that, no chance of getting him anymore. And he's our PvP specialist. After that, we have Alice the Wanderer, my favorite character in RSL Legends. She's amazing for PvP, she's amazing for PvE, she's amazing everywhere. She's not as good as Song Wukong in PvP, but I think she's better overall for your progress because she's good enough in so many other places. Now, with this QR code on the screen, we also have a new legendary for you to acquire if you so desire. One of these three you can choose, which is DuArktik. And this guy is very interesting. He's a hybrid between a tank and support. And the promo code is 3hugger. So absolutely insane. If you're a nature lover, this might be the character for you. And you're also getting a pack with silver, training materials, and so on for you to progress this guy and help you out gearing him up. Now, this guy is going to be available for a limited time as well. So make sure that if you want to get him over Alice and Song Wukong, use the promo code to unlock him on your first 72 hours. It used to be 24 hours, but I asked them, like, give more time for people to unlock this because sometimes they forget. And now it's 72 hours for you to unlock these characters. DuArktik is from the faction Sylvan Watchers, and this is one of the best factions in Raid Shadow Legends. They have 3 mythicals, each of them with insane transformations, very powerful abilities for you to use on your teams in whichever game mode. They are very flexible. And on top of that, you also have this character, Kaldor, which is the faction leader. And this character has abilities that whenever you pair him up with allies of the same faction, his abilities are going to improve quite significantly, where it becomes game changers. You can see right here that we have one active ability that is going to increase his functions. He's going to be able to remove negative effects from the allies. He's going to be able to apply poisons to the enemies. And then we have the passive that also has new abilities, where he provides continuous healing, additional crit chance, and other effects as well. Like I said, the Sylvan Watchers right now is one of the most powerful factions in RSL Legends, and DuArktik is going to start you progressing this faction with the promo code 3hugger. Within the next couple of weeks, you are also going to be able to obtain these rewards from the Raid Trivia Dungeon. This was a challenge that Raid cast to with some content creators where they had to answer like in it was a TV game show, and the different trivia questions related with the game, but not only. It was actually quite interesting. And again, this is going to be available for a couple of weeks, and we are talking about hundreds of dollars worth of rewards. So make sure you log in right now to claim these rewards for yourself. You can also use the promo code GameLeap and PP500 to get some additional silver, training brews, and also energy to help out with your progress early on. Right now, we have only a few spots available for our clans, so if you want to join our clans as well, let me know in the comments below or on Discord if you want to join us. Once again, check the QR code for all these rewards. Thank you, Raid, so much for this opportunity. Okay, so let's talk about what makes Hydra to tick. And it's not having more legendaries or having more mythicals or having more epics. You need to have the proper strategy in order for you to tackle this, because if I take all my best characters here, so I'm gonna take all my legendaries and see what happens, right? So we're gonna take all legendaries that I have available, maybe this one. So here we go, we have a full roster of legendaries. Let's see what happens. Alice alone, she can do a lot of damage, like 700k. That's actually pretty decent, but you can see that it was pretty much Alice solo the entire thing. So having a team full of legendaries, it's definitely not the case. So let's do a free regroup, and now let's use a proper team that I prepared for us to use. So we're going to be able to use this team right here. It has a few legendaries. This one you actually don't need him, this guy right here. I just want to use him because he's kind of hilarious to use, because he poisons your entire team. This is the Udex Arthur. This is the guy that you can only get right now for the next week or so. And this was the previous, it was last month legendary that you were able to obtain through a fusion. So we have a few epics, we have a few legendaries. This guy is not really necessary. This was a random legendary that I got recently, and that's it. Okay, let's start the Hydra, and we're going to talk about what kind of mechanics we have to be paying attention to. So this head right here, Head of Decay, she's the one that is going to steal all debuffs from the enemies. So what you have to do, you have to provoke her. You have to make sure that she's angry at you, and you don't let her have control over her actions, right? So that will stop her from doing her ability. So it's like a mini ability block. It's not exactly like an ability block, but it's a mini ability block. Okay, we are going to extend all our buffs. And then we have, on the other side, we have the Head of Wrath. This head, she's going to do a lot of damage to you. So you have to make sure that you don't touch her like very often. If you touch too often, she's going to get angry and she's going to clap you. So you definitely don't want to do that. We're going to use this guy to apply slow to all the enemies. We're also going to apply weakness that increases our damage. And now we're going to use this guy to apply block buffs on the enemies. And with this, they're not going to be able to get a speed up, an offense up, and all these things that are problems for us. And now we have to apply provoke with this guy. And like I said, provoke is a hybrid between ability block and taunt. The enemy is going to attack you specifically, and it's not going to be able to activate the other abilities. So that's why it's so important. Okay, we're going to do this. Let's see if we can land the provoke. We were not able to land the provoke. So this is a problem that I don't have the character developed enough. They are very, very small. But we're going to reset and see if we can apply that provoke. Okay, let's see if we can land that provoke. Here we go. Awesome, we got to provoke. That's excellent. So now we're going to be able to use our proper strategy, right? And just clap the cheeks on these Hydras. Let's do the big ultimate over here with the Hydra. Now we're going to cast that bubble to protect us from the Head of Wrath. Okay, there we go. And we also have provoke on our character. So now we're going to get clapped a little bit and use our default skills. But that's just the way it is. That's why I extended the buffs rather than just letting there. Okay, here we go. We are doing some nice damage. And the most important is just making sure that you are using the strategies correctly. Because if you use the strategies correctly, the damage will eventually come. And that's what's so important about Raid, is making sure that you are following the strategy. Because if you don't, well, you're not going to survive for long. Okay, so we still have most of our buffs. Let's extend those buffs once again. Speed up on the team. Let's go. Fast and Furious. Let's block the incoming damage and smash this guy on the left. This is the one that really annoys me the most. You could use some gear that applies provoke with your attacks. That would be great as well. In case your characters don't have enough cooldowns, because that's the problem. Like, I should not be running this team. We have characters here level 50, level 40 and so on. You don't want to face Hydra until you have your characters at level 60. Otherwise, you are really on a situation of David against Goliath, right? Because, yeah, your characters are so small that they will not have a chance. But you guys can see, we are still going stronger, even that we are on this massive situation of disadvantage. Okay, let's keep clapping. We're gonna apply block debuffs or block buffs to the enemies once again. We are going to apply slow to them as well, keeping those debuffs going. And now we still have ally protection, so let's just use the basic to do some extra damage. 500k, there we go. So we already reached a nice threshold. So after we can use allies and get our other damage going, right? So let's heal up the girl over here. Okay, we have the bubble there. Let's apply curse to one of these heads, or X. It's not curse, it's X. The set is called curse. Okay, we're gonna do a big clap in terms of damage. Almost at 700k. Let's go. Awesome. Let's see if you can reach 1 million with just this team alone, because that would really help us to get some extra damage. Okay, we're gonna do bubble again. I'm not sure if bubble here would be the best answer. Damage or protection? We have a lot of protection already. Let's do the yeah, let's do the damage, just in case. Okay, we are almost at 800k. Again, if you are using the proper strategy and if you are surviving, you'll eventually reach your goals. It's just the way it is. Okay, we are at 800k. That's really solid. Let's do one more basic here. Let's see how many attacks more we can do. So you can see, if you're using the proper strategy, you're gonna be able to obtain some nice damage output, even with characters that they should not be here. Like, once again, I should not be playing with characters at level 40 and level 50. This is just insane. But you can see that it is the case. A few epics, a few legendaries, maybe even some rares, depending on which you have available, and you'll be able to do some nice progress. We are going to keep these results because they were pretty solid. And after that, we're going to use our team, and we're going to be able to finally obtain our first chest of rewards. The rewards from Hydra are really important because even at the lowest level, you are getting character shards for Mithrala, which is a very strong legendary. And on top of that, you're also getting this gear that is of a very higher rarity. You can see epic, legendary and mythical gear, plus additional coins that you can use to trade for energy, silver and so on. Mithrala is the legendary that you can obtain from doing Hydra, and as you guys can see, she looks absolutely insane. Stunning, amazing graphics with Raid as we are used to, and you can see the details that they put in all her clothes and everything. She just looks insane, and she's an absolute game changer. She's super OP. You can see on the basic she applies poisons, which is very strong. She also applies X and gives buffs of defense and attack, so she's also going to be very strong on Hydra as well for your secondary team and third team to help you progress. This is our final score for Hydra. We have 1,706,000, so that will allow us to get the first chest, which is an improvement, right? And we had to use the 3 teams. We 2 was enough to get the first chest, but the last one was just a little bit of extra. But now we have an event going on. Let's see if we can summon some character shards that are going to be useful for Hydra. So we're going to try to pop some void shards. We have Sifi, very powerful. And we have Man-Eater that can help us with the clan boss, Demon Lord. So we're going to try to summon one of them. So here we go. Let's see. Let's get started. Let's see if you can pull anything useful for Hydra. Here we go. First shard. We are live on Twitch, and we get a cold heart right away. Okay, she's very nice, as you guys can see. Insane reviews. She's very useful for Dragon, for the Fire Knight, and also for Demon Lord. Very powerful. She's already my third, which is great. You can use multiple of them. Let's move on. Let's go for the next summon. Let's see if we can pull a legendary out of epics. It's very rare. And now we have this guy, Mycolus. He's okay. He's not the worst. He's not the worst. He can be useful in faction wars. He does a few interesting things. Nothing too crazy. Let's move on. Here we go. Can you get Man-Eater? Okay, here we go. It's an epic. And I have no idea who she is. Lua. Who the hell is Lua? Attacks deals 50% more damage to all enemies if the attack is critical. Okay, that's interesting. Attacks all enemies 3 times. Okay. Each critical heals 5% or 2%. Okay. And then attacks one enemy, decrease the speed bar by 100%. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. Another Dark Elf. Come on, Man-Eater, where are you at? Not here. Not here. Definitely not here. Doom Screecher. This guy is good, right? I heard this guy is good. Demon Lord, Faction Wars, Arena Offense, Arena Defense, Doom Screecher. I think he's good. Attacks twice, applies decrease accuracy, fills the speed bar, and places defense for 2 turns. Wow, that's not trash. Attacks all enemies, places a shield for 30% of these champions. Damage increase according to the champion's courage HP. Okay, that's interesting. And buffs for faction wars and these undead hordes. Okay. This special is definitely very, very strong. Okay, I like it. We're gonna open 2 sacred shards, see if you get lucky and pull Duchess. Here we go first. Sacred shard, 3 to 1. Come on, Raid. You gonna hook me up with a legendary today? No, with a epic. Some rat. Scabrius. Wow, those are some great reviews. I'm not sure if this guy is good, but he has some insane reviews. Basic, 50% chance of applying a 5% poison. Okay, that's nice. Attacks all enemies, applies leech. Okay. And applies weakness to the primary target. Also applies increased attack to this champion. Okay, and then damage increased by 20%, attacking enemies under poison. Okay, that's interesting. So you can make a solid character for the Demon Lord, and he's a Skinwalker. I don't have any good Skinwalkers, so that's good. Let's pull the next one, and after we are done, here we go, 3 to 1. Let's get something good. Come on, Rachel Legends, hook me up. Another epic. Let's see. Visionary. Okay, who's Visionary? Very good reviews as well. She has a 24% speed aura for dungeons. Okay, that's nice. Dark Elf. Decrease the crit rate and decrease the crit damage. Okay. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of applying decrease crit rate and decrease crit damage to all enemies. Okay. And then places a crit rate and crit damage buff to all allies plus speed bar. Okay. So there you go, guys. That was the Hydra clan boss in RSL Legends. I hope Marvel Strike Force Boundless is watching and taking notes, so they can make their next Battle World character, Sentry, more impactful and more relevant. Because otherwise, if it's going to be out of fast like Knull was, then the game mode will never get the relevancy that it deserves. Once again, I want to give a big shout out for RSL Legends to help me out with this video. And if you want to join me in Raid and join one of my clans and get a huge boost right away, even with characters that will help you in Hydra and also on Demon Lord, make sure you check out the QR code on the screen. Once again, you're going to be able to unlock Uugo right away as you log in with a pack of goodies. We're also going to be able to obtain Fayne at level 15, which is amazing for the Demon Lord, as I just mentioned. Then for a limited time, you can still get Song Wukong if you so desire. It's great for PvP and other game modes as well, but mostly PvP. Alice, she's amazing everywhere, my favorite character. But like I said, Song Wukong is very nice as well. And then if you love nature, you can be a tree hugger and get a DuArktik for free, as well with a pack of goodies to help you. Also, don't forget to use the code PP500 and Game Leap to get additional silver, energy and training materials for you to have a very strong start right away when you join a raid. Once again, big shout out to Raid to helping me out with this video. And as always, if you like the video, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more content like this. And I will catch you guys later.